You're tuned in to OC16. Here comes another episode of PacWest Magazine.
Welcome to the newest edition of PacWest Magazine. I'm Wayne Coito. With schools in Hawaii, Arizona, California, and Utah, the Pacific West Conference is truly the most beautiful destination conference in all of collegiate athletics. Now let's go to one of our 10 outstanding campuses and see just what makes the PacWest simply the best.
San Francisco is a place that is known for its greatness, for its great beauty, great people, and great history. All of this makes it an incredible place and a true treasure in the PacWest motto that we are the most beautiful destination conference in the entire NCAA. But also in the Bay Area, that greatness is seen by the great rivalry that is building between the men's soccer programs of Notre Dame de Namur and Academy of Art University. The Argos of NDNU have been a traditional powerhouse in the conference, winning a PacWest title a few years back and always being right in the thick of the race for the championship and a possible regional berth. The Urban Knights of Art U are the upstarts who have come a long way in a short time since they started their program just 3 years ago. And then last season, they burst onto the scene when they upset Notre Dame de Namur in the final regular season game, effectively knocking the Argos out of the NCAA regionals. The growing rivalry hasn't gone unnoticed by the school's two athletic directors, Jamie Williams of Academy of Art and Josh Duty of NDNU.
It's a fun little rivalry. I kind of laugh because Academy's coach, I think he's at more games than I am for some reason. So he's usually sitting in the corner of the field and watches our games pretty closely. And it's turned out to be a nice little rivalry.
The soccer teams are very good, and of course we have great rivalries with them, which is good. I mean, we're only up the street, and that's what we should have, because we have families on both sides that live nearby and come to the games, and we have good, friendly rivalries.
We've been very fortunate to have good recruits come in and very talented players come in, and we've been extremely fortunate. I think that's kind of helped us even through the transition. There's no real lull because of the level of play that we have has been so good. We've been very fortunate with the coaches that we've had come in through Notre Dame, and they've all brought different styles of play to us, and they've all seemed to work on our field and with the type of kids that we have. So it's been good. It's been enjoyable.
Dominicans in the mix, and of course Holy Names is coming in the mix, and I think this whole Bay Area North, it's kind of like the Hawaii schools. You know, you got HPU, Chaminade, you got Hilo. You know, there's a lot of rivalry there. They know each other, and we know what you're going to do. You know who wants it more tonight. And I like that.
It's good for the PacWest.
It's great for the PacWest. Now we got to integrate those southern schools into the mix, and I think it's going to be fun.
On this cool October day in Belmont, the rivalry was intense all the way, with the Argonauts taking a 1-0 lead and holding it until the final minute of regulation. Along the way, they had tripled the amount of shots on goal of their rival, but the lead was still only that one lone goal. Then, with a possible victory virtually in the countdown stages, Art U scored at the 89th minute to forge a 1-1 tie and send the game into overtime. Since the women's contest between the two schools had earlier gone 2 overtimes, the late start to the men's game meant that the overtime would be played in the waning moments of daylight, with darkness ready to halt the contest literally within minutes. And then in the growing gloom of the 97th minute, the incredible happened. The Urban Knights, who had been outshot in the night 3-1, got the game winner from freshman Frederick Nagel. The goal propelling them to an improbable 2-1 victory over their arch rivals and setting off a wild Art U celebration. Ironically, the two rivals would meet again just 2 days later, with the Argonauts securing that one-goal victory. But on this game, it belonged to the Urban Knights, and the thrilling wins proved that without a doubt that this San Francisco Bay Area rivalry is one of the strongest in the entire PacWest. The PacWest. From Hawaii and California to Utah and Arizona, it's the most beautiful destination conference in the entire NCAA. 10 outstanding schools: Academy of Art, BYU Hawaii, Cal Baptist, Chaminade, Dixie State, Dominican, Grand Canyon, Hawaii Pacific, Notre Dame de Namur, and the University of Hawaii at Hilo. The home of champions and outstanding student athletes, the PacWest.
I chose Division II because athletes graduate at a higher rate.
I can stay closer to home and be an important part of the community. I chose Division II because I can double major
And take part in campus activities.
I chose Division II because classrooms are smaller.
Students have more time with their instructors.
And I can compete for a national championship. I chose Division II for all these reasons and more.
I chose
Division II.
Imagine collaborating with a diverse group of people from different backgrounds who all share common values. A place where giving back to the community is not only encouraged, but expected. Where your professor is not just a teacher, but a mentor. Imagine a place where individual leadership is prized. Imagine Chaminade University.
I'm Jane Teixeira, Assistant Commissioner for the PacWest Conference.
When did you know that you wanted to make a career in athletics? Not as a player, but in other areas.
After I attended law school at the University of Oklahoma, when I graduated there, I actually practiced law for a couple of months and realized it wasn't something I really loved. And if I was going to work and spend the rest of my life working, I wanted to do something that I loved. So I looked back and realized that I love student athletes and I loved what my experience was, so I wanted to take that opportunity to give back. So in 2006, I got an opportunity to become the compliance director at a Division II institution, and I considered that my career because I fell in love with it.
I brought some food for you guys.
Oh, thank you, and I brought you gifts too.
Well, thank you very much. We're swapping gifts. Make sure all you.
Oh, you didn't. You and the Leonards.
Why would you fall in love with compliance? What is it about compliance that is lovable?
It's an opportunity to actually explain and interpret and use my legal background, but it also gives you at the nuts and bolts and the ground level of affecting student athletes' lives. You are able to help them in ways that other people can't, not just on the field, but off the field. You get to be kind of a mentor to them and help them understand why the things are the way they are, and it really goes to the core of what I enjoy as far as trying to figure things out. I've always wanted to know why things are the way they are, and this is an opportunity to do that within the sports arena.
And then you worked at USC as the Director of Compliance and helped them really kind of reinstate themselves from what was obviously a difficult situation. What was that like as a challenge to you as a professional?
It was very challenging. We started off with 2 or 3 compliance directors when I first got there and have grown before I left to approximately 10. But it was a challenging time. It was challenging to always have to defend the things you did, and oftentimes compliance directors don't get an opportunity to talk to the press and explain how things really are. So it was a great opportunity for us to step up to the plate and be one of the leaders in that. We were able to define how USC compliance should be looked at and perceived by other people across the country and become a model compliance department. It was a great opportunity, love the people there, and the coaches are great, the student athletes are great, and the administration's great.
Let's talk about your playing days. University of Texas Longhorns. Talk about playing softball, what it meant to you, and just a little bit about your career.
It was a great opportunity to start a team from scratch, to be part of the first University of Texas at Austin softball team. It was an opportunity to be a leader, to be on the field with 10 other great women. Some have been in the Olympics, some have not. We've done great things. We were the first team in Texas history to go to the College World Series. We did it in our 2nd year of existence, and that feat has never been topped as of yet. We're proud to say that. I Started in right field all of my time there, and I was the number 6 hitter, which essentially is the second leadoff when it comes for a team. I was a left-handed slap hitter, but I did a little bit of everything. I used to drag, I used to hit away, I used to slap, did whatever the team needed to do. I was a 300 career hitter, and I had a pretty high on-base percentage and also a pretty high fielding average. So I'm pretty proud of what I did as a student athlete. My teammates named me the MVP my senior year, so that was a great honor, and I appreciate that and love my teammates to death. So it was a great opportunity, great time. I want the PacWest Conference office to be the best, to be the model office that the NCAA looks at, for other people to look at and go, we want to be just like them. For our student athletes and for our administrators and our coaches that are involved, we want to win championships. We want to be on the forefront of legislation and things that'll change the way the landscape is for college athletics right now. I want us to be the best at everything that we do.
Is there anything that I didn't ask you I should ask you?
Hook 'em horns.
We'll cut that out.
No, you won't.
All right, good stuff. The PacWest features some of the best student athletes and coaches in all of Division II. We go to the gym now and catch some exciting highlights from around the PacWest. Being on the road is always a tough assignment for any team, but it's especially tough in the PacWest, where our 10 schools are spread over 4 states and often separated by thousands of miles. That's why we've come up with destination scheduling, where teams can play in one location over several days and get all of their conference road games out of the way in one stretch. Such was the case for the Dixie State College of Utah women's volleyball team, who recently traveled to the San Francisco Bay Area for 5 conference contests during a 6-day span. On this night, the Red Storm faced off against the Argonauts of Notre Dame de Namur in Belmont, California. And neither the home team nor the rigors of the road could stop the visitors from achieving a 3-set victory. In all, Dixie won all 5 matches during their Bay Area road swing, downing Notre Dame, Academy of Art, and Dominican along the way. For head coach Darice Pratt, it was tough work, but she was happy her team prevailed. Pratt is in her first year at the helm of the Dixie State women's volleyball program. A former Division I player from Arizona State and New Mexico State, Pratt is also a former Dixie State assistant coach who is known for her great work at the Southern Utah Volleyball Academy.
We try to compete every day in practice. We've had a couple close ones against Cal Baptist. We were even close with BYU Hawaii. We went 4 with both of them, which I really feel like we could have gotten 5. And so we're just trying to compete every day in practice, just keep competing. So I think there's a lot of good talent in the conference, and it's exciting. It's fun. It's fun to play every night. You never know what you're going to get.
She's also a terrific mom to her 3 children, with another on the way right after volleyball season.
Mo thinks I'm going to have my baby right on the court, but no, we're having a good time. It's fun.
So is the baby going to be a volleyball player?
Yes, I already have 2 girls that are volleyball players, so we'll get another one.
Coach Darice Pratt and the Dixie State Red Storm women's volleyball team, showcasing once again the greatness of the PacWest. Welcome back to PacWest Magazine. Now, the PacWest added another school this year, California Baptist University in Riverside, California. We go to Southern California now and meet the Lancers.
We're excited that this time has finally come. It's a big deal to get into a conference. We're very excited about the PacWest and how strong the conference has become, and we love the fact that we get to be a part of making it better. Excited about the new areas our student athletes get to go to, all the new geographic areas, all the new cultures they'll be exposed to. Just very, very excited about this opportunity.
We're very excited. The PacWest is a great conference. It's one of the best in the NCAA Division II, and we're excited for the great competition and the opportunity to travel and play the great competition in a couple different states. But we're very excited for the quality of the schools that are in this conference as well. It's a good step up for us.
It's exciting for recruiting too, to tell recruits and their families where they'll be competing, and I think it also helps us get California Baptist University's name out there even more by being able to compete in all these different areas.
Well, we're super excited about the new challenge that presents it in the NCAA Division II and the PacWest, and we've had some success at the NAIA, and we're coming off a couple successful seasons for us, and it's a good time for the transition as it gives us something new to shoot for and a new mountain to climb, so to speak. So we're super excited about the new teams. We've played some of them already, and they're very good in previous years, so we're excited about competing against a lot of the teams in the conference.
The transition itself has been fairly smooth. Our administration has done a good job preparing us for the different NCAA things that'll be, changes from the NAIA. So it's been pretty streamlined. We've had to recruit almost an entire team, so we've done it all underneath the NCAA guidelines. So it's allowed us to get a lot of experience very quickly. And we're expecting to field a competitive team that can be in the discussion, for conference championships for years to come.
We've won 22 national championships at the NAIA level. A ton of conference championships. We've done very well. We've been very blessed. We know that we're stepping up a notch in NCAA Division II, but we're excited. We think we can compete, and we're just excited for the challenge. Really excited for the challenge.
There's a real level of expectation here, and it comes from the top all the way down. Some people have a program they just want to do something, or have something to do. We're trying to do something, and they expect us to compete at the highest level, whatever conference we're in. This year it was in the GSAC, and next year it's in the PacWest. So I think it just comes with a higher standard than maybe some universities do in regards to the expectation and the quality of the product you put on the floor.
A goal of our athletic department is to honor Christ through excellence in athletics. We feel like if we're gonna do something, we're gonna try to do it well, and we're gonna try to praise God with that, with our efforts. We're unique because we've grown tremendously in the last 17 years. We went from 800 students to over 5,000 students here as an enrollment. So, and along with that, the athletic department has grown the same way. So we feel like our athletic department is keeping up with our university by making this transition to the PacWest and NCAA Division II.
We've got about 5,000 students, and about 85% of them live on campus. So there's a real sense of community. It's not like a commuter school in a big metropolitan area. So everybody comes and supports each other. And different athletes from various programs all come, and they get to know each other, support. The professors are there. They may be keeping the book or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it definitely has a communal sense. Our student services and so forth, our SIDs do a great job of, alumni support, also the homecoming things and so forth, making it a big deal. So we lost one game at home last year, and hopefully we can keep that tradition going.
But we'll have goals on what happens at the end of the season. So I think athletes that have a high expectation for winning, I also think athletes that do well in the classroom and maybe have a little bit different perspective because of who we are as a university than some of the other schools.
We focus in on development. I hope when people talk about our program that the first word that comes to mind is that they develop young men, but they develop them in 3 areas, and that's academically, athletically, and spiritually.
The type of student athlete who maybe wants this type of environment over maybe even bigger school setting because we're so successful athletically, but can do that in a Christian environment.
Doctor, are you the pride of the Inland Empire?
Should I say that? We are the pride of the Inland Empire.
Thank you. All right, very good.
Not just a job search, a journey. Not just a call to arms, a calling. Not just a paycheck, a path. We're all here for a purpose. Find yours at Grand Canyon University.
Don't go anywhere. You're watching PacWest Magazine.
Ever feel like you're just not getting anywhere at work? Hawaii Pacific University can help you get ahead, develop your skills, network with other professionals, and get invaluable support from academic advisors. Hawaii Pacific University. Get where you want to go.
It doesn't look like your average university, because it isn't. Just 12 miles from San Francisco is an urban oasis where students go beyond the classroom, helping businesses become sustainable, fighting breast cancer, athletes who excel and serve the community. And here, you don't just study history, you help make it.
In our many seasons of PacWest Magazine, we've had some great feature stories. Let's open up our PacWest Magazine vault and take a walk down memory lane.
Taking a stroll on the Dominican University campus, Terry Tumey reflects on the beauty that surrounds him.
When you look at Dominican, you see a school that you think would be taken straight out of the East Coast. It has very picturesque lawns and beautiful buildings, and the architecture is well renowned. You don't think you'd see that here in Marin County in basically a peninsula type environment.
As a new athletics director at the San Rafael, California school, Tumey looks forward to each day on this picturesque campus.
There is so much diversity here on campus. Our students come from everywhere, and it's really a great energy here on campus that I'm excited to come to work every day.
In only his rookie year, Tumey takes over a Dominican athletics program that makes its debut in the PacWest and in NCAA Division II athletics.
Well, the NCAA move for us was really basically almost like a birthright for us. For us, we see this as a new life ahead of us. We're trying to go out and establish the Dominican brand throughout the region, and the PacWest is helping us tremendously with that, and we're so excited about being able to compete at the level at which we think we can.
Along with Notre Dame de Namur and second-year member Academy of Art, Dominican solidifies the conference presence in the Bay Area.
Well, I think San Francisco really emulates the PacWest in the fact that San Francisco is such an international city. The PacWest, for us, we love it because of its diversity and its international flair. So we're very happy to be a part of the PacWest and what it brings to the table.
Leaving the San Francisco 49ers as Director of Football Administration, Tumey starts fresh at Dominican, where he hopes to bridge his NFL experience into the world of Division II.
I felt as though, and we still feel as though at the Niners, that this is one of the preeminent athletic franchises, not just football, but athletic franchises in the world. So to be able to be a part of that, to learn from that, the experiences, the people, I'm taking all that experience with me as I try to put Dominican in the same level.
And Tumey couldn't be more excited to be a part of the NCAA's most beautiful destination conference.
When you think about our conference and think about the institutions in it, I don't think you'd find a better student-athlete experience than what you can have at the PacWest. I mean, you're absolutely right. We get to go to the islands, which are absolutely beautiful, and really great academic institutions. We get to go to the Southwest, a totally different region almost, and then come back to the Bay Area. I think if you're going to look for the best of all worlds, where athletically, academically, and socially, look to the PacWest.
The PacWest celebrates our diversity, putting students first and practicing good sportsmanship. And they are among the reasons Tumey decided to take the new gig.
One thing you realize very, very soon when you deal with athletics, athletics is all about people. It's about treating people the right way and having a mutual respect for the game and those folks around you. One thing I love about the Hawaiian schools is they always show great love and respect for people, visitors or not, when they come to the islands. That sort of feeling is what draws you to the PacWest and the schools around it, and what drew me to Dominican.
Terry Tumey and Dominican Athletics, shining new stars in the PacWest.
At California Baptist University, you'll find the adventurous opportunity of a lifetime to live your purpose. CBU offers an expansive range of undergraduate and graduate academic programs taught by award-winning instructors in state-of-the-art facilities.
I can still come back and see my professors, and they know me face to face. It's an amazing relationship that goes from Cal Baptist onto the future.
At CBU, campus life is unparalleled, featuring world-class athletics, fantastic food, lasting friendships, and life-changing ministries. CBU is not just an education, it's an experience. Why don't you join us at CBU? Live your purpose.
Thanks for being with us for another edition of PacWest Magazine. Come find us at the web at thepacwest.com. That's where you'll find all the latest conference scores and highlights via our YouTube channel. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For Bob, Hogue, and Malia Smith, I'm Wayne Coito, saying see you next time on PacWest Magazine.